consumption
Other.
of human flesh to be good? Of a
I
dead
believe
human?
that it is not good for general population, but who have
Oh
like
no, for anyone,
who-
for any human, is the consumption of a dead flesh of a human being, is that good?
see, we have evolved from a lot of big
Brother, just
species.
answer the question. Come on, it's a simple
It's
question. Okay,
it's not
I'll
a
ask the same
yes or
question.
no
Bilal,
question,
Bilal,
right? It is
is
not
the
a yes or
consumption
no
of
question.
human flesh of a corpse, of a dead corpse, is that good in any
I
context?
No,
don't. I would not
it's
consume it, but
harmful to the
there are
for
people
the
who
body.
consume it.
Yeah, so it's no, basically. Yeah, you see,
No,
first
it's
human,
not.
the
Okay,
reason we
okay.
Muslims are able to answer these clear questions very clearly as an answer is because we have the do's and the don'ts in Islam. Unlike you, you have to go based on which Hindu you ask. So if I ask a Aghori Hindu, he will say yes, it's perfectly okay for me. That's
That's
for
what
me the
I am
best
also
way to
saying.
attain
That's what
moksha.
I am also saying. That depending on what purpose you have or what life you
No,
follow,
depending on which
it's not
Hindu you
bad.
ask, not the purpose.
It's
Depending on
that's
which
what.
Hindu you
So
ask and the belief,
you
belief.
divide it on basis of which Hindu. I divide it on the basis of what purpose you have.
Okay, what is the
So
purpose of eating human flesh? Go on, tell me. For
like
Aghori.
I
Just
would
if you
not know
understand
because
that.
I don't eat it. You will
Exactly
have
my
to ask
point.
Aghori.
So
He would be able
it
to answer
depends
it.
on the belief, my friend. It depends on the belief, not on the
It's
person. Because the
it,
person, obviously, the person has a belief. But what I'm saying is that in Hinduism, everything goes. There's no for one person what might be good, for another person is terrible and horrible. Like the
everything
example
does
we
not
said,
go.
you would never
Everything
eat
does
human
not
flesh,
go.
would you? Because you will find it to be disgusting and horrible. But for
Until
another
unless
Hindu,
it is
it is a good
not
thing.
harming anybody in the society and the society is okay with it,
No,
it
no,
should
the society is
is
not
okay.
okay with it. In fact, in Bombay, they banned it. Do you know that? The
Yeah,
Aghoris,
they
they banned the
because
practice
with
because it was
yes,
horrendous.
because with time it evolves. With time we evolve. That is what we have learned as Sanatan Dharma has taught us. That with time you evolve
What do you mean evolve? As a human?
as a human, as a understanding about the society, of understanding about how human
So
relationships
you're
work.
saying the Aghoris are not evolved. Are they still what? Not human or something else?
What do you mean? That is what your understanding is,
I'm
because
asking
they
you the
taught
question. You
you.
said you're the one who brought up this evolution
So
in this
evolution
Hindu.
in terms of, I'm not saying that they are not evolved. I'm saying that the places where it was previously practiced, right? They have shrink to particular areas. That doesn't
What
mean
has
that they have
evolved? That is a
evolved or
question
not
I'm asking
evolved.
you. What has evolved? You use the term evolved.
Yeah,
What evolved? The faith evolved? The human evolved? What evolved?
the living conditions evolved.
So you think before the living condition was so bad, they had to eat human beings, cannibals? They became cannibals.
You
Seriously?
think that Aghoris eat human flesh because there was lack of food? That is the most misunderstood thing that you have.
I never said it was a lack of food. You're the
That is
one
what
saying
you
it
said right
evolved.
now, isn't it?
Why? The question is very simple. What do you understand by the term evolve that you're using in the context of Aghori?
That in context of Aghori, the term evolve is before there were like places where Aghoris used to concentrate around different places throughout India.
No, I'm
Now those
asking why did
places
they
have
eat
been
human flesh?
concentrated to few places. That is why it has now been banned
The
in
question,
the
you
remaining India.
misunderstood the question. The question is why did they need to eat dead human flesh? Why?
That is the way of life. That is how
That
they
is the belief,
believe
right?
that they, that
That is
is
the belief, right?
what do you mean that is their belief?
It is the belief of the Aghoris to eat dead flesh so they can attain moksha.
No, the Aghoris believe that there is no difference between me and what I eat. That is why they eat anything.
Thank you. That is a belief, right?
That is what they, because they consider everything as them
But
a
you just
part of
said it is
themselves.
what they
So that is
believe,
what they
like you
say.
said. Why are you disagreeing with your own statements?
I am not
I've been
disagreeing.
telling
So
you all along that this is the belief of those Hindus called Aghoris. You wouldn't eat the flesh of dead humans, would you? Because it's not your belief. And my point is this, that every Hindu you ask, their belief systems are different.
the belief systems might be different when according
Thank
to
you.
you, but
Finally.
the thing that's what. Okay, so you see how you only took one part. Take the whole sentence.
रुको जरा सबर करो
अघोरीज जो होते हैं ना वो इंसानों का मांस खाते हैं, ये सच है?
हाँ बिल्कुल खाते हैं, मांग भी लेते हैं कि आपने इतनी देर मेरे से बात की, अब ठीक है, अब मेरी ये इच्छा है कि मुझे इस चीज का मांस ला के दो, मैं खाऊंगा, और अपने हाथ से बना के दो और मैं खाऊंगा, कच्चा भी मांस मांग लेंगे।
मैंने यही सुना है कि ना अघोरीज का जो माइंड होता है ना वो बहुत एकदम मतलब गुस्सैल टाइप होता
मुझे मैंने माफ कर रंग बटे जो कभी भी सुना तेरे वरदान में तो मेरा साफ कर घोड़ा मेरे
sentence and then try to understand it, because I think that is how
Okay,
English also
elaborate.
works.
What do you mean by that? Go on.
So when you say that different Hindus have different beliefs, the belief is same to attain moksha. Everybody
No,
is
no, no.
working
That is,
towards attaining
I
moksha.
think you misunderstand the end result with the belief. So the
You said that
purpose,
everybody has their own belief, but
so the purpose of every Hindu is to attain moksha. I agree with that.
So everybody can do it their own
However,
way.
to
That is,
attain that moksha, the path they take is different. Am I right?
yes, the path they
So
take
I
is
understand Hinduism. Yeah, I know. That's why I'm saying the path that the Aghori takes to attain moksha, for them, the most filthiest things they do, for example, they eat their own excreta. Yeah, they eat their own, waste. They eat dead humans. They drink blood. They actually eat corpses. I can't believe this. That as a Hindu, you would say this is one of the path to moksha.
Hindus believe in reincarnation. Each rebirth is determined by the karma that you accumulate from your previous life, but it can also be affected by Hindu notions of purity. But there is a sect of Hinduism called the Aghori, challenging the very fabric of Indian society. Most Hindus are obsessed with maintaining ritual purity, not eating certain foods or touching certain things that can defile you. What this obsession with purity and pollution has done is it's created what we now know as a caste, from the Brahmin who are at the very top to what we now refer to as the Dalit, or the untouchables at the very bottom. It's the untouchables who do all the work that nobody else wants to do. They're the ones who clean the streets, pick up the garbage, deal with the sewage, things that would defile a pious Hindu.
When body is burning, if anybody get this ashes in his body, power is coming from there.
The Aghori believe that God lives within you, and if God lives within you, then nothing you do can defile you. A very small movement, mostly of ascetics, prove this belief by taking part in ostentatious displays of defilement. They will cover themselves in the ashes of the dead. They will eat rotted corpses. They will drink their own urine.
Oh my goodness.
They will sleep within the cremation grounds. It's an idea that's very difficult for everyday Indians to take part of.
because you don't understand Hinduism or Sanatan Dharma. That's why you could say
understand.
this.
Why do you guys always say this? You don't understand. I just explained the
Because you don't. So if somebody is not
I
able
just
to
explained the
understand,
whole.
you would say that
I
it is not
explained the whole
understanding.
process for you. That this is the way the Aghoris attain moksha. Are you going to
Yes.
deny that?
I am not denying it, but the thing is, you believe
Okay,
that
I don't
that is
understand that.
a wrong way of living.
Okay.
It is
What
not
did I
wrong.
say was wrong? Go on. Let's see if you can do that.
It is not if that's what I am saying, that Aghoris
No, no.
take
You
up
said
of life.
you said I don't understand. From what I explained to you, tell me what I said was wrong.
The understanding of why they do for moksha.
Do they do it for moksha?
reason-
They don't.
No, the reason they do it is because Aghoris believe that everything that is in this world, in this universe, or in this yuga, or in this sphere of knowing, is a part of God, or it's Him only. That is what Aghoris believe. That's
think
why they
most
do
Hindus
not
believe that.
differentiate. That is why they do not differentiate between a corpse and a normal food. It is not that they only consume corpse. It is that they do not differentiate.
No, but But what is the
That is
purpose?
what the Aghoris believe. It is not because of the moksha. It is
It is
because
for
they
moksha.
believe
Okay, what is the Aghori path for moksha? How will the Aghori attain moksha? Let's see if
there
you can
are
answer that.
different practices. Like I'm not aware about the
So if
complete
you're not aware,
practices.
why are you telling me I'm wrong then? You're the
Because
one.
you are
I'm
also
not
not
wrong.
aware. Because I am 100% sure that you are also not aware.
No,
You are
you're
just
not
picking up
100% sure.
things.
You're 100% wrong because you are ignorant of this.
That is what you believe, right? That
No,
is
you're
fine.
completely
Don't
ignorant of
mind.
the Agora way because the Agoris themselves, when they were interviewed, and this was on the CNN,
Oh yeah,
documentary
I
as well. So
that's what.
they
So don't.
interviewed. Wait a minute. I'll tell you why you're ignorant of this. When the Agoris were questioned as to why they do these filthy things, they said this is the quickest way for them to attain moksha. Now, if you're going to say, I don't know on one end, and then you're saying 100% I'm wrong, okay, then it just shows you're contradicting yourself. So, yeah, what I'm saying is that they were actually interviewed, and this is from the Agoris themselves. So, don't say I'm wrong when you are completely ignorant of them.
How many Aghoris have you met in your life?
They have a human skull.
Come sit, bro.
Okay,
This is kids.
it's a kid,
8 year.
8-year-old, and they were cremated here.
No, it's not cremated. Kids not get a burn.
Do you know whose head this was?
Holy man, sadhus.
Did you know him personally?
Yes. He knows.
You knew him personally.
I know him.
How'd he die?
How he die? He natural die. He
Natural.
become old. Yes.
Do you have any ashes?
Of course, you see front of you.
Are these the human
Yes, this is
human ashes? And that's something like you put over your skin.
Of course, you see here front of your eyes.
Yeah, he's got human ashes on him.
We eat human body as well.
How does human taste?
Like salt.
Whenever you eat a human, are they already dead or are they alive?
No, that.
Dead. How do you find like a dead human?
There are many bodies they cannot get burned.
Yeah.
So they put in river after a couple of hours. Body came up.
Do you eat it raw or do you cook it?
No, we don't cook. We eat raw.
Oh.
And when we cook, it's a blessing for everyone.
I don't need to meet them.
Yeah, so I have met a lot of Aghoris in my life. And I know it. So, like, you have just watched a documentary,
wait a
and
minute.
I believe that you are. I
So
believe that
you met
a
many
sensible person who
Aghoris.
does not believe
Let me get this
everything
straight.
that you see on internet.
You
right?
met many Agoris. Am I right? Where did you meet them? In India.
Yeah, in India.
Okay. And did you ask them why do you eat the dead flesh?
Yeah, I have asked them. I
What
have
did they say?
talked with them because I told you reason because they do not differentiate between dead, living, or anything. They believe that everything is part of God, and they consume it on that basis. That for you it might be good food or bad food, but for us it is just a way of sustaining the body because
Okay.
the
So
body is.
you're saying they do not differentiate between dead and alive people. Is that what you're saying?
In terms of it not in terms of eating, but in terms of the general perspective of.
Are you aware that the Agoris also do child sacrifices and magic, black magic?
See, you watched a lot of documentaries, Asim. I think you like.
No. This is, by the way, this is not something which is from a documentary. It is something for which the Indian government has stipulated laws to ban them from these regions.
What?
Yes. What? It shows how ignorant you are of the Agoris. in
That's
India.
what I'm saying. Like, I believe that you are not such an ignorant person that you believe everything that is on the internet. Because if you do, I see question your judgment.
How about this? First, tell me if you were aware of this or you are completely ignorant of this. That they commit child sacrifices and they also perform black magic.
That is what you have heard, right?
Okay. So, are you aware or you're not aware? Tell me.
That is not true. That is what I'm saying. That is not
All right,
true.
let me bring this to your attention. Okay, this will blow your mind because you said you met many Agoris, but you're still ignorant of these things.
That is what you think. Your thinking does not.
Wait.
Wait.
Do you have faith in the Indian government?
Yeah, I do have faith in my government.
This is a government document. Let's see what he say. What do you make of this?
What is it? India code, the Maharashtra pension, human sex, and
It says the Maharashtra Prevention and Eradication of Human Sacrifice and Other Inhuman Evil and Aghori Practices and Black Magic Act 2013.
Yes.
And it was modified on 16 March 2015. This is an official Government of Maharashtra Law and Judiciary Department document.
What are you trying to say? What is it that you want to say?
Do you not read? What does it say?
Yeah, I see that it is a law that is
Why did they? Why
used to
did
prevent
they?
something.
Why did they bring this law if the Aghoris did not perform human sacrifice and black magic?